everybody. Welcome to Spotlight on Middle Country. My name is Lenore Paprocky, and I am the president of the Greater Middle Country Chamber of Commerce.
And I'm Sal DiVincenzo from the Miller Business Center at the Middle Country Public Library.
And I'm Alex Blund, also from the Miller Business Center at the Middle Country Public Library.
So guys, wait a minute. Who's our guest today?
You are our guest today.
You win. You win the lucky prize.
You know, Lenore, we've been doing this for 14 episodes now. This I think is episode number 15. I think it's long overdue that we chat with you about what you do, what you've done, and as president of the chamber, I think it's you're going to be a great interview today. I think so.
Well, I appreciate that. Thank you so much.
Lenore, really quick, can you tell us a little bit about Spotlight on Middle Country?
Sure. Would love to talk about Spotlight on Middle Country. I was first approached by you guys. Hey, Lenore, do you want to do some sort of podcast where we work together to introduce our businesses, our community, our different, maybe even, we're hoping that this grows into, an event platform, a business platforms, maybe some, interesting people who live in our Middle Country area. And I thought that the collaboration between the Miller Business Center and the Middle Country Chamber was a perfect synergy, for lack of any other word. And I think that it's been amazing. And if nothing else, it's bringing more eyes to the Middle Country area. And that's a good thing.
Yes, it absolutely is. And so speaking of the Middle Country area and the chamber, when did you officially get started? When did you get involved with the chamber? And what was your reasoning behind getting involved with the Middle Country Chamber?
Okay, well, that's a great question. So I got involved actually with the chamber when I first started working at Sports Plus back in 2005.
Oh, wow.
2006.
I miss that place so much. Can I just say? Sorry.
I'm sure that the sentiment is out there, Alex. I do miss it too. It was a lot of fun. I loved working there. I started off as the birthday party office manager, for lack of any other words. And I ran the birthday parties for a couple of months, but was instrumental in increasing their business quite substantially in a very short period of time. And so they asked me, would you be interested in moving up to the event center and manage the event center? And I said, I have no idea how to manage an event center. And they said, no, you could do it. And it turned out to be a perfect fit for me. I loved it. Basically had the kudos to be able to run it as my own business. As long as I, ran a profitable event center, they basically left me alone. And that's where I started meeting people. First time I actually had any experience with a chamber, to believe it or not, even though I had been in the business world for, all the years previous, but in retail. And as we all know, retail is, not such great, although they should be, sometimes not such great players in the Chamber of Commerce. So I didn't start dealing with that until Sports Plus, when Three Village Chamber actually hosted a couple of events with me. And I started going, what is this chamber all about? Then, unfortunately, Sports Plus closed. I was lucky enough to move right up the road to the Holiday Inn Express as the director of sales and marketing. And that's when I really got heavily involved in all the local chambers, and including Middle Country Chamber.
Lenore, did you always want to be in business? I mean, was that your goal, to be a businesswoman of the world?
Well, you know what, Sal, I always knew I wanted to work. So I'm very old. I hope I don't look it.
No way.
And so when I was graduating high school, most of the women were in the late 70s. Most of them were going to, go off to get married and have family. That wasn't really my aspiration. So I did go to college, and I decided to take up social work. However, I never landed in the social work field. And to be totally honest, the reason why that didn't happen was because I unfortunately didn't realize until I was deep into it in school that I don't know how to have empathy. And anybody who knows me knows that I wear my heart on my sleeve. And because of that, and because it was so hard to learn empathy instead of sympathy, which basically means that people's problems, you can work with them, help them, advise them, and then walk away and leave it there. I didn't know how to do that. I was taking all issues with me home, and I'm a pretty happy-go-lucky person, and I was.
Yeah, you are. Yeah.
But it was killing me. So I decided that wasn't the path I would take. And to be honest, I ended up, because of my social work learnings, I was able to become a business manager in retail stores. And it was easy because I understood people. It's kind of like the people who go to school for psychology and end up not taking, becoming a psychologist, but they're great with people. I think that's pretty much what ended up happening with me. And I feel like that was one of my attributes, was I was able to understand different personalities, how to deal with them, that sort of thing. And so that's how I ended up in the business world. Ended up with business management, always through retail sales. At one point, I was overseeing 4 stores. I was considered a unit manager. I loved all of my retail jobs. I always said retail is in my heart. It still is in my heart. I love retail. But so again, I mentioned I was old, and I hate to keep repeating that. Maybe I have to, I don't know. But in any case, the fact of the matter is when I was working for retail, we were closed on every holiday.
Yeah.
We weren't even, sometimes for the first little bit, we weren't open on Sundays, but then we started opening Sundays, but only from like 11 to 3, 11 to 4. It wasn't a whole day of Sunday. And then when they started opening up for, the day after New Year's Day and then Thanksgiving Day, I was like, I'm out of here. I so disagreed with opening up these stores on holidays. I felt bad. My people, I still have friendships from people who worked for me back when they were 17. They're now in their 50s, because the relationships I built with the people who worked for me, they became my family. And I felt bad that I was forcing them to go to work on a holiday, but I had to, and this is it was so I was like, okay, I'm done. And I was lucky enough to honestly have the opportunity when all this was happening to stop working in retail, actually be a stay-at-home mom for 4 or 5 years, and not work at all. And I always find that as a such a success story, because I was glad that I was able to stay at home and be a full-time mom for the first 4 or 5 years until my daughter went to full-time well, actually it wasn't even full-time kindergarten when she went to school. It was full-time first grade. And so and then I stopped for a while, and I stayed out of the business world and ended up back over in hospitality with Sports Plus, and that just led me on my hospitality path. And again, I think it's got a lot to do with the the personality that I guess I was born with. So I have a funny story. I remember crying to my dad when I was 12. My brother is a very, very talented artist, and he used to enter his artwork into every single fire department art show that there was, and he always won first place. And I remember saying to my dad, it's not fair. Joey was my brother. Joey has talent. He can paint. I can't do anything. I can't paint. I can't play an instrument. I can't sing. I can't do anything. And my father's answer was, you're absolutely wrong, Lenore. You do have talent. Your talent is the gift of gab. That was at 20. Too bad I wasn't smart enough to really understand what he was saying, because I might have been one of the, commentators on, the local TV channel.
Right.
What he was saying. But anyway, so that's my funny story. But he even identified it back then when I was, very young, that this is what I do best.
Yeah.
And
Go ahead, Sal. I'm sorry.
No, I was going to say, Lenore, we were, before we started recording, I realized I've known you for, it's got to be 12, 13 years now. You've been involved with the chamber for that long in some capacity. And you became president just, earlier this year, before this whole lockdown thing kind of came about. So you've had a lot of challenges with this. So, I mean, what have you been doing besides Spotlight, which is fantastic, but what have you been doing as chamber president to deal with this whole COVID thing?
So, Sal, I was involved and reason why we know that's exactly right, 13 years. Because in 2007, when I started at the Holiday Inn Express, that's when I started getting involved in all the chambers, including Middle Country. And Middle Country was always one of my favorites. And, I realized then that, the business development part of it, the building business relationships was the most important part of, chambers. Quite a few years ago, I was asked to sit on the board. I was happy to do it. Second time I was ever asked to sit on any chamber board. My first stint on a chamber board was with the Port Jefferson Chamber of Commerce. I sat on their board for whatever their year, 2 years, whatever it is. But because of the time that I had, or the lack thereof, I had to say, no, I don't want to renew. But it was a great experience. So when I sat with Middle Country, it was, helped me to kind of come up through the ranks on the board. And because I started as a regular board member, then, the ongoing joke in every chamber is go to the bathroom, come back, you're the vice president. That's for Ryan. Because that's basically what happened to Ryan when he left. But anyway, so now here comes January, and Jeff's ready to finally get, trade in his reins. 10 years, God bless him. He did a fantastic, amazing job. Middle Country Chamber has been so lucky to have such talented people at the helm. And always great boards. I mean, because prior to Jeff, we all remember Sandy. She was amazing. I think everybody misses her immensely. But, Jeff had big shoes to fill, but he did a phenomenal job. Okay, so now hand the reins over to Lenore, and a pandemic hits. I'm like, really? You got to be kidding.
Right on time.
So, what I was able to, I feel, and of course this is, I have a great board. I will always, shout their praises. Everybody is quick to jump on, on the bandwagon when there was something to do. What can we do? How can we make this happen? And I also have to have, great kudos to Doreen Newman, who is, she calls herself the administrative assistant or something. I always say she's the president, but that's besides the point. Because I come up with ideas and I call up Doreen and, Doreen, can you do this? And she's like, yeah, sure, I'll make it happen. Great. I wish everything could be that easy. We were able to, as soon as the lockdown came into play, I spoke with the board and with Doreen, and we decided that we would put out once a week letters to or information to the chamber members. And sometimes even more, because as you know, when this lockdown first happened, they were changing information, by the hour information was changing. So I wanted to make sure that everything that I knew, all of my chamber members and whoever else is on our list knew. And that was the most important, keeping everybody informed. And I feel like I've done, or we collectively have done a great job trying to do that. And then I guess the other part of it is that I wanted to make sure people knew that I was approachable, that, if you had any issues, you can call me or anybody else on my board, and we would do our best, our ultimate best, to try to get you an answer if we didn't know the answer. And, I had quite a few companies that had nothing to do or didn't pay dues. They weren't part of the chamber, but they probably came to a chamber meeting. So they were on our list. And these people were calling saying, hey, listen, I have a question, or can you help me with this? And I'm always happy to help. And during this pandemic, that old saying, we were all in this together. So whether you were a paid dues member or not, it didn't make a difference. You were in my community. And as the president of the chamber, I felt it was my duty to do everything I could to keep these people in business. And pretty much that was the real challenge.
Absolutely. I just have to give you kudos for two things before I ask you our next question. Earlier, you were answering one of Sal's questions about, it was when you were talking about what your dad had said to you. And I was going like this, but like, I wasn't trying to say like, oh, wrap it up. So I just want to make that clear. I was trying to say that, wow, Lenore, you're such a great storyteller, because you started with Sports Plus and then you took us back into, the history, and then you came back and ended with Sports Plus. So storytelling, you can add that to your resume, because
Alex, I have a comment to that. It's called, and any female out there will get what I'm saying. This is most females have this talent. We can start someplace, go up, down, over here, and finish where we started. Most men can't do that, but women can.
All right. Well, I guess that's it. What are your future plans for the chamber? What can we expect to see from the Greater Middle Country Chamber of Commerce in the rest of 2020, 2021? What do we can expect to see?
Well, Alex, it's a great question. A lot of, I think what's going to end up happening is really going to be very much hinge on what happens with this virus, and whether or not, things will ever get back to what we consider somewhat of a normal. We are trying to do, and I did a few face-to-face, in-person meetings in August. And, had pretty much the same 10 or 12 people come, but they were all excited to be out and about. As much as this Zoom works for what it's good for, and I'm not putting it down by any means, but a person we talked about a lot about my personality. A personality like mine needs face-to-face, front-to-front, person-on-person interaction. And so I was excited that at least there was a handful of people that felt comfortable enough to come out. I'm hoping that that begins to grow. We are hoping to do in-person meetings for the next couple of months that are left. Maybe it's a hybrid, a little bit of in-person, and then also have a computer running where people can, be Zooming in. So it's a little bit of both. We're working on that. Of course, every single special event that we do is been postponed until next year. That includes the Night at the Races, which was a fantastic event last year.
So much fun. That was so much fun. I think we all enjoyed it.
Yeah, and so that's going to be pushed off till next year, and then we're also had in the works, which has been postponed as well, a Veterans Day celebration. So maybe it'll be a Memorial Day celebration. I don't know quite what we'll do. Maybe we'll just pick a day and call it a Veterans Day celebration. But we wanted to, we wanted to honor our veterans and have a nice community involvement event. It would be the chamber as well as the both civics, the Center Reach Civic and the Selden Civic would all work together to put this on. So all those things got put to the side. So it's going to be a little bit different.
Yeah, but you also have, if I may interrupt you, I know you're starting a new initiative that I actually happen to be part of, and I'm very thankful that you had selected me as one of the 3 people to be involved with it, is starting a Middle Country Young Entrepreneurs group. So myself, along with Chris Chris Cable from TechWorks Consulting, and Matt Heater from Synergy Wealth Solutions. We've been talking, we've been emailing back and forth with you, and kind of have like a nice thread going of ideas. And first it started with the name, of course, but then once we got that, we started to think like, okay, what's our next step? How can we do this? What are our goals? Who do we want to reach out to? So
Alex, I'm going to tell you something. I've always wanted to do that. That was an initiative that was on and if anybody saw my book of things I want to do with the chamber, it's crazy. I don't bring them all up at one time because it would overwhelm people. But anyway, the young professionals of Middle Country, I think that's the name that we're pretty much kind of settling on at this point.
Yeah.
And I knew it when I picked them. So we have you, superstar in your own right, Chris Cable from TechWorks, who has so much to input, and Matt Heater, who is an up-and-coming, going to be a super success as a financial advisor, but has the connections to the young people as well. So between the three of you, I have no doubt it's going to be a success. And I'm looking forward to 2021 because I think that's really when we're going to hit the ground running with this. Right now, it's a matter of building the audience, getting a few people, getting some ideas. We did keep it 40 years and under. I think Matt wanted 35 and under, but I felt like it might cut off too many people, but we'll see.
I think 40 is a good number. Yeah.
Because most of the people who I'm dealing with at Middle Country Chamber, let's face it, a lot of us are, we're all pushing up there, We've been around a long time, right, Sal? Well, you're a baby too, but 13
not
years
really.
that I've been around, so I think it's a good way to, and I've always been and believe in mentoring our youth. That's always been important to me. When I was in the retail business management segment, I always trained. I was always a training manager. I trained all new managers coming into for the store. I'm going to go back 100 years ago. If people remember, Harvey's Shoes and Things was actually located right in Center H, but they also had 11 other stores throughout Suffolk and Nassau County. I bet you a lot of people never knew that. But I did a lot of their management training, and that continued on even when I got to the other types of businesses training at the Holiday Inn Express. I put together a fantastic mentoring program for the colleges and high schools where
I remember
that? Yeah.
Not to jump in, I'm sorry, at the wrong time, but I remember when you were at the Holiday Inn, like when you would come to like our planning meetings for like Strictly Business or something, like you always had somebody young and like somebody new that was like with you, like over the years. And I'd be like, what? I'm like, who is this person with Lenore? Like,
I always had an intern.
Yeah. You always had somebody like mentoring somebody, and I mean,
I loved it. I always say people who take on interns, it puts you on your toes all day long because you have to be at your best because you've got somebody looking over your shoulder and hopefully going to, look at you as a role model. So you always have to have on your game face and be your best. I love the mentoring part. And just very quickly, I have been working with Smithtown Industry Advisory Board, which is a collaboration between Smithtown schools and local businesses to help mentor the students in the Smithtown schools. Would love to grow that initiative, the Industry Advisory Board. There is one, but very, very small in the Middle Country school district. Would love to grow that, but I've been working with them for the past 13 years as well. As a matter of fact, I'm now their business chairperson for that particular Industry Advisory Board, and I'm proud to have made a difference in a lot of young people's lives.
Awesome. Yeah, it really is so important for young people, especially on Long Island. Like, I mean, I know for years now, going to all these different meetings, hearing about like the brain drain is what they called it, right? Or, you know, all the young people coming out of college and then moving off to, you know, the city or North Carolina or Florida or Pennsylvania, wherever, because they thought, you know, there's no jobs on Long Island. Why am I going to stay here? I'm going to go here. But there really is a lot of good business to be done on Long Island. There's a lot of good, and there's a lot of good talented young people as well that are still around. I think it's just they need to know that we're out there. People like you are out there to show them the way and show, you know, kind of show them.
Exactly.
You know.
And that's exactly why I like the young professionals of Middle Country, for the same exact reasons that you just mentioned, Alex, that, you know, hopefully you guys can learn from each other and then take on, you know, people like myself who, and many others who have the business acumen and can share it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, Lenore, we could probably keep going on and on and on. We could go on forever because you're so interesting and you have so many great stories.
No, yeah.
But I think we should wrap it up. But before we do, Lenore, if someone's interested in being on our show, who should they contact? What should they do?
Right. So we would love to have everybody take the opportunity, because this is an opportunity to be on Spotlight on Middle Country. So if anybody is interested in becoming a guest star, so to speak, we would love for you to reach out to, you can reach out directly to me, and it's nice and easy. It's Lenore Paprocky. You can see it right in the corner at yahoo.com, or you can reach out to any of the Miller Business Center people. You have Sal, you have Alex, you also have Elizabeth, who is behind the scenes today. And we would be happy to set up an appointment. And listen, guys, it's only about, I mean, I talk a lot, you guys know that, but we can keep it to, you know, a half an hour, 40 minutes of your time complete, from setting up to finishing. It's not a lot. And then let's also keep in mind that once you're done and you've had your interview, that interview becomes yours. You can use it as marketing material. You know, it's also embedded, if you are a member of the chamber, it's embedded into your name. So once they look for you, and this video that we're doing is embedded in our website, the Middle Country Chamber website, under your name. So it is a marketing tool, and it's
absolutely,
it's free. Why? I don't understand why people would turn this down. So
exactly.
Sal, Alex, don't you think we're gonna have a lineup?
I hope so, because
it better be,
yeah, like we're offering our time to promote your business. So like call us, email us. You know, we will, you know, take the time to,
absolutely,
you know, we'll take the time to maybe make tailor questions so you can highlight, you know, specific parts of your business, or you tell us you know, what is important about your business that would be interesting for people to know that they may not know. You know, like there's so many things, and we have been reaching out to a lot of people in the community, and we want more people to reach out to us. And well, we're not giving up though, but we'll be reaching out to you. You reach out to us, and you know, we're gonna make this happen.
Definitely.
Yeah, we're not going to give up. No way. Lenore doesn't give up.
Exactly.
No.
So thanks everyone for being on the show today. Thank you, Lenore. It was good seeing you.
Guys. It was great to
And
be
Thank you, Lenore. Thank you. Great
see you
interview.
the next time. Yeah.
Bye,
Take care, everyone. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.